A chance encounter, a moment of shared youthful curiosity, brought Kiara face to face with Kovu. In that instant, they weren't the daughter of a king and the heir of a villain. They were just two cubs, innocent and unaware of the bitter history that divided their families. A spark of friendship was lit, a tiny flame in a landscape of old hatreds. But this childhood innocence was brutally cut short. Simba and Zira appeared, their mutual animosity thick enough to choke the air. The cubs were ripped apart, dragged back to their respective worlds, each being told the other was the enemy. For Simba, seeing Kovu was like seeing a ghost. The young cub's resemblance to Scar was uncanny, a chilling reminder of the brother who betrayed him and tried to kill him. All his old wounds, the trauma of his father's death and his years in exile, were torn open anew. The fear for his daughter's safety became an obsession. He tightened his grip, becoming overprotective, his fear building walls around Kiara that she desperately wanted to escape. Years passed. Kiara blossomed into a young lioness, her desire for independence clashing with her father's suffocating protection. Kovu grew into a powerful, conflicted young lion. Zira's indoctrination was deep, but that brief friendship with Kiara had planted a seed of doubt in his heart. Was the world really as black and white as his mother claimed? Zira saw her opportunity. Her plan was as cunning as it was cruel. She would set a wildfire in the Pride Lands during Kiara's first solo hunt. Kovu, positioned perfectly, would rescue her. By saving the king's daughter, he would earn a place in the Pride, a fox in the henhouse. From there, he could get close to Simba and strike when the king was most vulnerable, finally avenging Scar and claiming the throne. The plan worked flawlessly. At first, Kovu saved Kiara from the raging inferno and, invoking the ancient law of repaying a debt, asked to join the Pride. Simba, filled with suspicion but bound by tradition and his daughter's pleas, reluctantly agreed. He allowed Kovu into Pride Rock, but on one condition: judgment would be reserved. Kovu was an outsider, on probation, and Simba's mistrustful eyes followed his every move. Life in the Pride Lands was a revelation for Kovu. He saw a world of cooperation, joy, and abundance, a stark contrast to the scarcity and bitterness of the Outlands. He spent time with Kiara, and their childhood friendship blossomed into a deep and powerful love. She showed him the beauty of Apandi, of connection and unity. He started teaching her how to hunt, and she started teaching him how to laugh, how to feel. The darkness his mother had instilled in him began to recede, replaced by the light of Kiara's love. He was torn. The mission to kill Simba felt more and more wrong with each passing day. He was falling in love with the daughter of the man he was supposed to murder. Simba watched this transformation with a conflicted heart. He saw the genuine affection between Kovu and Kiara, but he couldn't shake the image of Scar. He was haunted by nightmares where his father Mufasa fell from the cliff again. Only this time the helping paw that turned into a claw belonged to Kovu. His trauma was speaking louder than his reason. Was Kovu truly changing, or was this all part of a more elaborate deception? The turning point came when Simba finally decided to give Kovu a chance. He took him on a walk, showing him the parts of the kingdom that had been destroyed by Scar's reign, explaining the true meaning of the circle of life. For the first time, Simba wasn't just looking at Kovu as Scar's heir, he was talking to him, lion to lion. It was in this moment of fragile connection that Zira's trap was sprung. The outsiders ambushed them. It was a brutal, chaotic fight. Simba, believing Kovu had led him into a trap, was furious and heartbroken. His worst fears had been confirmed. During the battle, Zira's other son, Nuka, in a desperate attempt to win his mother's approval, tried to attack Simba directly, but the unstable environment gave way, and Nuka was tragically killed by falling logs. Zira, devastated, turned her grief into pure rage, blaming Kovu for her son's death and scarring him across the eye, marking him with the same wound that defined Scar. Kovu, now an outcast from both sides, returned to Pride Rock to beg for forgiveness, but Simba, blinded by his pain and betrayal, would not listen. In a powerful and heartbreaking scene, he declared Kovu an enemy and, with the full support of the grieving Pride, exiled him. As Kovu was cast out, Kiara watched in horror. She saw her father not as a just king, but as a tyrant ruled by prejudice, no better than the monsters he claimed to fight. She knew Kovu was innocent of the ambush. In an act of defiance and love, she broke away from her father and fled Pride Rock, finding Kovu in the wilderness. Together, they realized their love was the only thing that could bridge the divide. They had to go back. They had to stop the war. Their return was dramatic. The two prides were on the brink of a final, bloody battle. As lightning split the sky, Simba and Zira led their lions in a ferocious charge. Just as the two leaders were about to clash, Kiara and Kovu leaped between them, physically stopping the fight. Kiara's words cut through the roar of battle. "A wise king once told me, 'We are one,'" she said, looking directly at her father. "Them us? Look at them. They are us. What differences do you see?" Her plea was a moment of stunning clarity. The lionesses, both Pridelanders and outsiders, looked at each other and saw, not enemies, but fellow lions, weary of a pointless fight. Zira's followers began to hesitate, but Zira herself was too far gone. "If you will not fight," she snarled at her own daughter Vitani, "then you will die as well." As Zira lunged at Simba for one final attack, Kiara intercepted her. The two tumbled over a cliff edge, dangling precariously above a raging river. Kiara tried to save Zira, offering her a paw, but Zira, consumed by her hate to the very end, refused to help and fell to her death. In the aftermath, a heavy rain washed over the Pride Lands, cleansing the battlefield. The war was over. Simba finally looked at Kovu, not as the heir of Scar, but as the lion who stood with his daughter for peace. He saw his own prejudice and fear for what it was understood. The outsiders were welcomed back into the Pride, and the two groups, once bitter enemies, were finally united. Simba, Nala, Kiara, and Kovu stood together on Pride Rock. And for the first time, the roar that echoed across the kingdom was not of a single king, but of a united pride. The story teaches us a profound lesson. The shadows of the past are long, and hatred can be passed down through generations. But so can love. It shows us that true strength isn't about defeating enemies, but about healing divides. It's about having the courage to forgive, to trust, and to see that in the end, we are all one. The legacy of Simba and Scar wasn't just one of war. It was a story that created the peace that followed. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, back to the Pride Lands. If you love exploring, Scar wasn't just a villain. It was family. He was the disgruntled, intelligent, and ambitious brother of the king. His jealousy of Mufasa and his contempt for the circle of life were festering long before Simba was born. When Simba arrived, he wasn't just a nephew to Scar. He was the final obstacle, the living embodiment of everything Scar felt he was denied. Think about it from Scar's perspective. Twisted as it was, he saw himself as the rightful, more intelligent heir, sidelined by brute strength and tradition. His Beriname Scar suggests a past wound, a constant reminder of being second-best. This wasn't just a power grab, it was a deeply personal vendetta. And then there's young Simba, a cub full of innocence and bravado. He looked up to his uncle Scar. Remember that scene where Scar manipulates Simba, telling him the elephant graveyard is a place for the brave? It's chilling because it's not just a lie, it's a grooming process. Scar preys on Simba's desire to prove himself, to be just like his mighty father. He twists a child's admiration into a weapon against him. This is the foundation of their tragic relationship, a mix of feigned affection and pure, cold-blooded manipulation. It's what makes the Stampede scene so devastating. It's not just the death of a king, it's the ultimate betrayal by a trusted family member. Scar's most cruel and masterful stroke wasn't killing Mufasa, it was convincing Simba that it was his fault. Run away, Simba. Run away and never return. With those words, he doesn't just banish Simba physically, he exiles him psychologically. He infects Simba with a lifetime of guilt and shame. This is the shadow that follows Simba into the jungle. He adopts Hakuna Matata philosophy, not just because it's catchy, but as a defense mechanism. It's a desperate attempt to outrun his past, to forget the terrible burden he believes he carries. He can't face his responsibility because he believes he is a monster, a king killer. Meanwhile, Back in the Pride Lands, Scar's reign is a perfect reflection of his inner self. Barren, consumed, and out of balance, he breaks the circle of life because he never believed in it. He saw it as a system that kept him down, so he dismantles it entirely. The hyenas are given free rein, the resources are depleted, and the land withers. This isn't just poor leadership. It's the physical manifestation of his own bitterness and emptiness. He got the crown, he got the power, but it brought him no satisfaction. Only a kingdom of ashes that mirrored his own soul. He is a king of nothing, ruling over his own misery. Years pass, and Nala's arrival shatters Simba's self-imposed exile. The confrontation with Rafiki is the turning point. It's not just a funny scene with a stick. It's a spiritual awakening. Rafiki forces Simba to look into the water, to see his reflection. And who does he see? Mufasa, he lives in you. This is the moment Simba finally understands. He hasn't destroyed his father's legacy. He is his father's legacy. The guilt begins to recede, replaced by a sense of duty. The shadow of Scar's lie starts to lift, and Simba realizes he can't run from who he is. He is the one true king. The return to Pride Rock is more than just a physical journey. It's Simba returning to the scene of his trauma, to reclaim his identity. When he confronts Scar, it's not the terrified cub anymore. It's a king, ready to face his demon. The final battle is spectacular, but the most powerful moment is the verbal confrontation. Simba forces Scar to admit the truth, not just to the pride, but to himself. Tell them the truth. It's Simba reclaiming the narrative, taking back the power that Scar stole from him all those years ago. He is not just fighting for the kingdom, he's fighting for the little cub who was told he was a murderer. And what about Scar's end? It's poetic justice. He is brought down not by Simba directly, but by his own deceit. He tries to blame the hyenas, the very allies he empowered, and they turn on him. His life of manipulation and betrayal ends with the ultimate betrayal. He spent his whole life breaking circles, only to be consumed by the vicious circle of treachery he himself created. He couldn't escape the consequences of his own actions, but even with Scar gone, his shadow remains. Simba must now learn to rule a broken kingdom and heal a traumatized pride. He has to step into his father as Paw Prince, while grappling with the scars both literal and metaphorically left by his uncle. He has to rebuild the circle of life that Scar so gleefully shattered. The story doesn't just end with a roar on Pride Rock. The real work begins after the credits roll. Simba's victory isn't just about defeating a villain. It's about overcoming trauma, accepting responsibility, and restoring balance, not just to the land, but to his own soul. So, when Shadows Return isn't about Scar coming back from the dead. It's about the recurring shadows of our past, the lies we were told, and the guilt we carry. Simba's journey teaches us that we can't outrun these shadows. We have to turn, face them, and understand that they don't define us. We have to look in the reflection and see the king or queen that lives within us. The story of Simba and Scar is a timeless reminder that true strength isn't about having no fear or no pain. It's about facing it and choosing to step into the light. What do you think is the most tragic part of their story? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. This lioness, let's call her Inira, is not a villain. She's a survivor. She raises her son, Kiongozimi Lida, in Swahili Far, from Pride Rock, in the remote outlands, teaching him not of Scar's tyranny, but of his intelligence and charisma, a skewed but loving perspective. Kiongozi grows up isolated, hearing only tales of his father as supposed greatness, and the usurper Simba, who stole his birthright. He inherits Scar's cunning, his dark mane, and his piercing green eyes. But from his mother, he learns compassion and a sense of justice that Scar never possessed. He is a paradox, a walking contradiction of his heritage. Meanwhile, in the thriving Pride Lands, Simba and Nala's kingdom is at peace. They have Kiara, their adventurous daughter, and a younger son, the leader of the Lion Guard. But let's add another character to the royal family, a slightly older son, born before Kiara. Let's call him Jabari, meaning brave one. Jabari is everything a prince should be. Strong, noble, and deeply loyal to his father. He embodies the golden legacy of Mufasa and Simba. The circle of life, however, has a way of turning in unexpected ways. A severe drought, worse than any in-living memory, grips the Pride Lands. The animals are suffering, and the land is dying. Simba's wisdom is tested as the waterholes dry up and the herds begin to migrate away. Desperate, he sends his son Jabari on a perilous quest to the treacherous elephant graveyard, following a whispered legend of a hidden spring that saved the pride during Mufasa's time. It is here, in the shadowy canyons and geothermal vents, that destiny brings the two lions together. Jabari, the golden prince of the light, finds himself face to face with Kiongozi, the dark heir of the shadows. Neither knows the other's true identity. Jabari sees a rogue lion, a squatter in his ancestral lands. Kiongozi sees an arrogant intruder, a symbol of the family that wronged his own. Their first encounter is explosive. They clash in a battle of equals. Strength against cunning, power against agility. Jabari is taken aback by the stranger's ferocity, while Kiongozi is surprised by the prince's raw power and refusal to back down. The fight ends in a stalemate, with both lions nursing their wounds and their pride, a grudging respect growing between them. Forced by circumstance to navigate the dangerous graveyard together to find the spring, they begin a tense alliance. Jabari, ever the diplomat, tries to understand this mysterious lion. Kiongozi, suspicious but intrigued, slowly lets his guard down. They share stories of their lives, carefully omitting the names of their fathers. Jabari speaks of a just and noble king. Kiongozi talks of a brilliant leader who was betrayed. They discover they share a surprising amount in common. A deep sense of responsibility, a desire to protect their own, and a loneliness that comes with their respective burdens. Jabari feels the weight of his father's legacy, the pressure to be a perfect king. Kiongozi feels the ache of a stolen destiny, the anger of a history he's only been told one side of. The turning point comes when they finally discover the hidden spring, only to find it blocked by a massive rockfall. It's a task neither can accomplish alone. They must work together, combining Jabari's strength with Kiongozi's strategic mind. As they toil, their bond deepens. They cease to be prince and rogue. They become simply two lions fighting for a common goal: survival. After days of effort, they succeed. Water begins to flow again, a trickle at first, 10 stream. In their shared moment of triumph, the truth is finally revealed. Perhaps Zazu, sent by a worried Simba, finds them. Or perhaps Rafiki, guided by the spirits of the past, appears. In a dramatic confrontation, Rafiki reveals their full heritage. He points to Jabari, son of Simba, and then to Kiongozi, son of Scar. The revelation shatters their newfound camaraderie. The weight of generations of hatred, betrayal, and death crashes down upon them. Jabari sees the face of the monster who murdered his grandfather and nearly destroyed his family. Kiongozi sees the son of the lion who killed his father and cast his family into exile. All the old stories, all the ingrained prejudices, come rushing back. They stand on opposite sides of the newly flowing spring, a symbolic divide between them. The past threatens to consume the present. Kiongozi is torn. His entire life has been built on the idea of avenging his father. But the lion standing before him is not the monster from his mother's tales. He's Jabari, his companion, his equal, his brother, in a strange, twisted way. Jabari is equally conflicted. His duty, his very instinct, screams to fight, to banish this dark legacy from his lands. But he also sees Kiongozi, the lion who fought beside him, the lion who showed him a different kind of strength. How can he hate the individual for the sins of the father? This is the true test. Will they repeat the cycle of violence that defined their fathers? Or can they forge a new path? Kiongozi, remembering his mother's lessons of compassion alongside the tales of Scar's brilliance, makes the first move. He doesn't ask for forgiveness or a place in the pride. He simply acknowledges the truth. He admits his father was a tyrant, but also his father. And Jabari, embodying the wisdom of Mufasa and the heart of Simba, makes a choice that will define the future of the Pride Lands. He sees not the son of Scar, but Kiongozi, a lion of worth and honor. He extends a paw, not in challenge, but in invitation. He proposes they return to Pride Rock together, not as enemies, but as what they are. Their return sends shockwaves through the Pride lands. Simba is faced with the ghost of his past, the living embodiment of his greatest enemy. The lionesses, especially those who remember Scar's reign, are terrified. But Jabari stands firm, defending Kiongozi. He tells the story of their journey, of their shared struggle and mutual respect. He argues that the circle of life is not just about heritage, but about choice. Kiongozi, for his part, must prove himself. He uses his inherited intelligence not for treachery, but to help solve the problems of the drought, strategizing ways to manage resources and guide the returning herds. He shows the pride that he is not his father. He is his own lion. This story, in Shadow's Return, doesn't erase the past. Scar's shadow is long, and the scars on the Pride lands are deep, but it suggests a powerful theme. That legacy is not a cage. The blood of Simba and Scar flowing in two separate lions, brought together by fate, offers a chance for healing. It's a story about reconciliation, about choosing your own path, and about the idea that even the darkest shadows can be overcome by the light of a new generation. It is a testament to the idea that who you are is more important than who you came from. What do you think of this alternate timeline? Could the Pride lands ever truly accept a descendant of Scar? Could Simba ever look at his brother's son and not see the monster? It's a complex and fascinating idea to explore. The story of the Lion King is timeless because its themes are universal: family, responsibility, and the struggle between good and evil. And in this untold chapter, we see that sometimes the greatest courage is found in bridging that divide. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the what-ifs of the Pride lands. If you enjoyed this theory, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next exploration into your favorite stories. Let me know in the comments what you think about Kiongozi and Jabari's story. Until next time, remember that every story has another side.